Okay, so oh boy, I had to prep myself for this chapter. Yeah, against my better judgment, I was gonna go to bed, but I decided to cover this chapter because I just have so many questions that like need answers. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. This has been building up to this for so long, and it's just I can already tell it's just gonna be such a relevant moment for Legosi as a character. Uh, Alright, so just a disclaimer before we get started. This chapter is going to deal with the very controversial and heavy subject, and that subject is suicide. So if you're uncomfortable, I completely understand. This chapter and maybe the next or maybe the next might not be the chapters for you. We'll see. But I totally understand if you want to dip. You know, there are going to be plenty other chapters, but if this ain't for you, I completely get it. But, just giving you as a disclaimer just to be, like, respectful. So, that's the disclaimer out of the way, and I'm as ready as I'm ever going to be. Let's do it. Let's jump right in. I just have so many questions for this for Legosi's mom. Like, and I'm sure Legosi has questions too, maybe? I don't know. His relationship with his mother, it was set up in the early chapters, like right after, uh, like in the second arc, right? Where we got hints of it, where we were there for his funeral. Not his funeral, her funeral. Legosi's mother's name is Liano. That's what we know about her so far, right? So, and she died when he was like 12 years old. And by died, I mean, she suicided. She took her own life. So, let's see. Let's just jump right into the chapter. Her white clothes were perfectly ironed. Her stylish shoes were beautifully polished. And her makeup emphasized the wolfish features of her face. Oh, I see. Mother. Even when she's a ghost, she still tries to be the most beautiful wolf she can be. Welcome to chapter 133, The High Tide Swallows the Beach's Sand. I can already feel it. I just have so many questions because this is scary to me. Like her whole image, like she's a ghost, right? And yet she's like beautiful. Because one of the main things I had questions about was like the status of of Legacy and what it means that now the implication that he's a Komodo dragon gray wolf hybrid, right? I had questions at the beginning about his parentage, you know? And here I am seeing Liano beautiful as ever, and I'm just one this it scares me because I thought I had a beat on what had happened, kinda, but now I just don't know. I have no idea what's going on here. She's just there's no flaw whatsoever. She's just perfect. Because when I look at Legacy, I see Gosha. Like it's been drawn like multiple times that there are parallels between Gosha and Legacy. Legacy inherited a lot from Gosha, even though he's his grandson, right? He inherited Gosha's eyes, Gosha's temperament, Gosha's strong body. And what did Liano inherit? Right? Being half Komodo dragon, half Grey Wolf, compared to Legosi's one third Komodo dragon, and the other two being two parts Grey Wolf, right? She didn't, it doesn't look like she inherited anything. And that's scary to me because it's like, what could we possibly be talking about? What are we going into? Okay, so enough stalling from me. I think I've mentally prepared myself enough to like go into this chapter and, just let's just dive into it. Face it head on. Let's go. I know we haven't I know we haven't met in a long while, but I'd still like you to stop staring at me. You're making me nervous. I can't help it. You're a lot less adorable now, even though you're my son. You died when I was 12, remember? Animals can change a lot in 6 years. That long, huh? Death can really mess with your sense of time. Well, you look more masculine at least, so I guess you don't look too bad. That's how she always was, always abnormally fixated on her outward appearance. I wish she looked more like me. Ugh, so is she teasing him? That's messed up, but abnormally fixated on outward appearances. That's how she always was. What? So, but why? I don't get it though. Is it just because she's pretty? Is that it? Because because Legacy put a lot of emphasis on this right here. Just how, she puts a lot of effort into maintaining her looks, right? So I wonder if that's gonna be brought up, like to bring home a point, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. It's strange. I never thought you would come to resemble your grandfather so much. I gave birth to you wishing that you would inherit as little of his Komodo dragon blood as possible. That's kind of I don't understand why. That's kind of messed up. Look at her. She came out perfect. So it's like and Legacy came out just fine too. Like look at this photo. She didn't inherit any of Gosha's traits. Like at all. Compared to Legacy. Like I said it before. Where is it? Legacy has Gosha's eyes. He inherited a lot from Gosha. His eyes, his body, his strong body. Um, what else? His temperament even, right? His timid temperament, his rage. He's like close to being a carbon copy of Gosha. And even his love for whatchamacallit, different species as well. And something to note here. Guess look who's missing from this photo. Two of them are immune to Komodo dragon venom, that being Liano here and Legosi there. The only one who wasn't, because they were regular carnivore, would be Gosha's wife. We don't have a name for her, but Gosha's wife, and she's not present here. So my question is, what happened to Gosha's wife, and is that going to be like relevant later on? I feel like it is, but this is Liano's chapter, so maybe it's relevant. We'll see how it goes. But when she says, I gave birth to you wishing that you would inherit as little of his Komodo dragon blood as possible, I feel like there's a hint of disdain in that statement there. We'll see. But you're the one who wanted us to take the family picture, right? Doesn't that mean we're in good terms with Grandpa? That you were in good terms with Grandpa? It's not that simple. The instant a hybrid is born into this world, they're forced to live a complicated life. How so? I mean, it's understandable because I believe this was being set up since the very beginning, ever since Legacy met Haru's parents with that paper saying how like interspecial marriages are on the rise. What that means there are going to be more interspecial births, like hybrid births. So I feel like this is addressing that because the whole question now, since melon exists, is it worth it and is it safe for well, at least for Legosi's character, to pursue a relationship with Haru, right? Like, where do you draw the line, and who's gonna take responsibility for the child if, you know, the child doesn't come out right, or there are problems with it? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. A gray wolf was having a baby with the Komodo dragon when it was time for me to be born. This unusual circumstance caused an uproar and spread throughout the Ob- Obgen hospital where my parents were in. The animals at the hospital were scared and curious. They were fully expecting to see a monster brought to life. Okay, there's Gosha's wife right there. But, too bad for them. Public speculation tends to miss the mark most of the time. God must have been in a mischievous mood when I was born, because I turned out to be the most beautiful wolf. So she just came out gorgeous then. Just from the start. Okay. Let's see. Yep, she doesn't need to go through any more checkups. I was worried about her body as she's an abnormal case, but it turns out she's awfully blessed. Interesting. The uniqueness of wolf lizard crossbreeding must be why she mostly inherited her mother's genes. She truly is blessed. Oh, not because she doesn't take after her father. You understand. Society will see her as a pure-blooded gray wolf, and that is a very fine thing for Liano. Okay. Wow. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out where the conflict is coming from here. Because it's setting up a point. I'm trying to take my time with it. Because I can't go fast. This is too big of a moment to go fast. Um, I'm trying to figure it out. I don't understand. They're forced to live a complicated life, right? The instant a hybrid is born into this world. But she's beautiful, so I don't get it. Like, let's see. God was most mischievous. Why are they sad? Ah, I see. I understand now. Okay, so I'm starting to get it. Her mom isn't there. I noticed. So, look who's not here. We see her here, right? But we don't see her here. I'm wondering. In no case, awfully blessed. Doesn't need to go through any more checkups. So they're saying that she inherited all of her, but she does have Gosha's DNA though. So did she not inherit anything else, like his venom or anything? It doesn't even look. She didn't even inherit his eyes, so she takes more after her mother. Okay. God was most mischievous. So I'm guessing this occurred after. Ah, here it is, right here. Okay. She died. But how did she die? He toyed with my relationship with my father. God was most mischievous. You really do take after your mother. I'm glad. So tomorrow's your first day of middle school, huh? But how did she die though? I don't get it. Like, what's the timeline here? Was it after she was born? Or was it sometime after? 'Cause she seems fine right here. Were there complications during birth? She's skipping over details of that. Is it not relevant right now? Let's see. Dad? Hmm? I think I'm gonna hide the fact that I'm the daughter of a Komodo dragon. I love you, and I don't want to hurt you, but I'm starting to realize something. Society loves simple and beautiful animals, and that's the kind of animal I want to be. That's harsh. Wow, that sucks. I'm not hurt. We can still pick the same food from the same bowl. The Komodo dragon's venom immunity of the mouth is the only thing you inherited from me. I'm happy for it. If we can still have dinner together, then that's good enough for me. Oh my gosh, man. Every time Gosha. How strong is Gosha, man? The dude just. How sad is this guy's story? Like, we know where it's gonna go. He's gonna be the only one of him outside of Legacy. You know, Legacy's gonna be the only family he has left. And it hurts knowing that he's gonna lose his daughter in the end, right? And how strong is this man? He lost both. Like, Gosha's. Oh my goodness. Gosha is just a strong character all around. He lost his wife somehow, right? He lost his daughter to suicide. Details of which are still going to be explained, but and then he's left with his only grandson who blamed him for something. I'm assuming her death or whatever. It was never stated outright, right? And who he's been isolated from what, 5 years or so? That's insane to me. This character is actually amazing. And through all that, he smiles, right? He remains unbroken by society. And he's sitting here listening to his daughter say, I essentially don't want anyone to know I have anything to do with you. I'm a wolf and nothing else, right? Because she's come to expect society just appreciates simple animals. So since she has the choice, right, to choose, she's choosing wolf. And I don't know if that's out of resentment because her mother's dead now, or what else, but she's essentially just rejecting Gosha. Like that's that part of herself, right? Man, props to Gosha though. Go live the life you want. Okay, so happy beats now, but it's like that was sad, but we're gonna go for happy beats now. But it's like I like how Gosha just he doesn't criticize it. This is because he brought her into this world, right? This is the result of Gosha choosing family over society, right? And this is the same path that Legosi's walking right now, essentially. So let's move on. Go live the life you want. Let's see. Morning. When I entered middle school, I was wholeheartedly determined to play my new role. Morning, Liano. Liano, good morning. Okay. The lovable, pure-blooded gray wolf. I studied canine behavior and used it to be as lovable as I could. The typical canine is sociable, affable, earnest, and a bit clumsy, and not to mention talkative, cheerful, and open-hearted. My reserved nature and poker face must be part of my reptilian traits. I must hide this side of me. Oh, okay. So she did get some of Gosha's traits, right? So so she rejected Gosha, right? So she's rejecting everything about Gosha, and she's trying to build up this image of herself now of what she expects society. I'm sorry, of what society expects her to be, right? Because she said she studied canine behavior, right? And it makes sense because she doesn't have a motto to go off of, right? Her mother is dead, so it's like who would she talk to outside of her father, right? So that makes sense. Maybe she's just trying to emulate what she feels her mom would have been like. I don't know. But there's a lot of self-suppression going on, right? A lot of what we see in Beastars, especially at the very beginning where it's like a lot of politics and stuff, This what Liano's trying to suppress and what she's trying to emulate. She's trying to appease society by doing this because it's simple, right? If you look like a if you walk like a wolf, talk like a wolf, you're a wolf. No one knows that she's half Komodo dragon. That would just complicate things, I guess. So, can you really blame her though? I mean, it sucks, but can you really blame her? Nothing is more important than my appearance in society. Liano, see you tomorrow. If I become more affable and beautiful, society will love me even more. See you tomorrow. Okay, so she's building up this image of herself because that's what society expects of her and that's what she wants. So, let's see. I kept living that way till I was 19. My hair's changing. I should get some better face lotion. At least my diet's working well for my body. Looking good. Something itches. Let's see. What is that? It's just, what is that, like a zit or something? So it's something changed for her when she was 19. How old is Legoshi? Legoshi's just turned 18, right? Okay, let's see. So she's freaking out. Let's see. Oh, it's a scale? Oh, so does that mean that Gosha's traits are starting to come in at a later time? So were they like recessive genes? So just because she didn't get them then, that doesn't mean she would get them later. So if that's what's happening now, what are the implications for Legacy, who's 18? It's a scale. Your father's genes are now appearing on your body. There have been quite a few cases where animals who take after their mother begin to take after their father as they get older. You might get scales all over your body, or you might just have this one scale. She's freaking out, and she just takes off. I must hurry before I become a monster, and while I'm still a beautiful wolf. So she just, so she calls, so does she think her dad's a monster then? Or is that only applied to herself? So who's this? Grey Wolf, Miyagi, 25. Is this gonna be, and he wishes to be so he's a model or he's gonna be an actor? So is this like, oh, this must be Legoshi's dad then. Grey Wolf Miyagi. I must give birth to an almost pure-blooded grey wolf. Your father was an amateur model that happened. What? Hold on. Wait, so immediately, as soon as she finds out that she might change, she decides that she wants to bring another kid into the world? I'm a little upset because knowing how this. So, knowing how this ends for her, right? Her first instinct is to go reproduce, but I don't understand why, though. I must give birth to an almost pure-blooded grey wolf. Your father was an amateur model that I happened to find in a fashion magazine. I don't even remember his name. So I guess the dad isn't really important then. So he might not even like show up at all later. So, okay. I'm far from the ideal mother, but I really was happy that I gave birth to you. Bruh. I wanted us to talk. I just wanted us to take that family picture so I could leave a memorial. Wait, what? I wanted us to take that family picture so I could leave a memorial for my regretless life. What? So, I'm so confused. Wait, what do you mean? A memorial. So, as soon as she got a scale, I'm getting mad. Hold on. So, as soon as she got a single scale, she runs off, has a kid, wanted a single picture, and then was it like deuces after that? I don't understand. I wonder how Legacy feels about this, though. I'm taking it. Eyes on the camera, please. So they took this picture, but she looks completely fine, though. It's just one scale. Like this little thing? You can't be serious. That's all it was. It was. Oh. Okay. So that's just. It's getting worse. This is actually sending chills down my spine looking at this. So, okay, I'm starting to understand the implications of what's happening here. And even what this guy says, you look beautiful, ma'am. Now, oh, okay, I see. Would he still say the same thing if he saw her back? Would he still say the same thing if half her face was covered in scales? I understand what's going on here. It's the hmm. I'll save it till after. I don't. Oh my gosh, no. So I understand why she's reacting the way she is now. It's not just. It's not as shallow as. Oh, it's such a touchy subject, but it's not as shallow as it is on the surface. The whole theme that's being brought up in this chapter is the theme of identity, right? That's what I'm getting from this. So we saw through. It's like Bakugo. Like, let me use an example from My Hero Academia. You know Bakugo, Katsuki Bakugo from My Hero Academia, the one who was always bullying Deku in the beginning. You know, he was pretty much coddled and, built up his whole, pretty much coddled by everyone, admired by everyone because of his amazing quirk. And he got this idea in his head that was reinforced by society of him having a flashy, amazing quirk that he's going to be a great hero someday, right? That was his identity that was built up inside of his head. He's one of my favorite, he's like my top favorite character in the show for a number of reasons, basically because how this was handled, but he became that way because society made him that way essentially, right? No one ever told him no. He always got what he wanted. And he was pretty much spoiled because of it, right? That was the identity that was built up in his head by others. Like, oh, you're going to be a great hero someday because of what you were born with, because he was naturally gifted, right? This is the same thing, just with Liano and her looks, right? Her identity was built up to be, a normal, society will see her as a pure-blooded gray wolf, which is a very fine thing. That's the simple thing, right? I feel like if I feel like this was too soon. I mean, I feel like if they had introduced even the slightest possibility that she might change, that she might have changed, she would have coped with it a little bit better. That's what I feel at least. I can't see into the future or, rewrite the timeline, but I felt like she would have acclimated just a little bit better. But so here, she decided, now that she had confirmation, like she decided she wanted nothing to do with Gosha and she wanted to, oh, keep it together. That she wanted to just be a normal wolf because that's what society would accept, right? And we see what type of life Legosi lived when he was younger, with Gosha. That's the same thing that Liano had to deal with as well, I'm assuming. So that's sad. That's actually really sad. So, when she has this image built up, and then she starts getting scales, that's her identity shattering right there, right? Everything she's worked so hard to build up, her ivory tower is 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 crumbling now. Her entire world, her worldview on life, like everything, it's just starting to be turned to dust because of this, right? She's like, I'm not beautiful anymore. And like, I understand why they put emphasis on like setting up, like, oh, wait, my mom's always been like this. She puts a lot of emphasis on, appearances and looks, right? And she did that her entire life, all in an effort to reject, you know, that the ugly side of herself, the side that society doesn't accept, the side that's looked down upon and prejudiced against. Like, oh my God, it's just this is it's a terrifying situation. This, but no one wants to see this. Society wants to see this, this. No one, society doesn't want to acknowledge the ugly side of things, and this is the result of a of an interspecial romance, right? A result of Gosha's choice, and these are the implications I believe he probably didn't think about, right? This is the result. This is the result of Gosha choosing family over society, and he didn't. But even then, at the end, he didn't blame Liano for going to live her best life. Even the itchy scales that had completely covered my back was something I could be proud of. My life was complete. Bruh. So that's the end of the chapter? No, there's no way it ends like that. Hold on. How is your life how is her life complete? Like, she left legacy to fend for himself when he was young. Sure, he had Gosha, but he didn't have a mom, right? So, oh my gosh. That's I know it's just like that's not right. I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I need more time to think about it. That's the end of the chapter now, so I don't know if we're gonna get more next chapter, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit, but I just need a little bit of time to reflect on what I just read. So that's been chapter 133. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this chapter. I know we're running on a bit on the long side, but it is what it is. I'll see you during the next one. And be nice to each other and be good.